Thank you so much for coming out here and debating today. When we return, we will have our candidates for Directors of Parks and Recreation. Welcome back. Today we have our candidates for Directors of Parks and Recreation. We have our incumbent, Ryan Barrick, who's our independent, and our Democratic candidate, Cameron Oglesby, and our Republican candidate, Heather McDonald. Mr. Barrick, would you like to begin your opening remarks?
Yes. First, I would like to thank NBC6 South Florida for hosting this event and broadcasting it, Madison Ingram for being the moderator today, and I would also like to thank all of the viewers tuning in to watch this debate today. As she said, I'm Ryan Barrick, the independent candidate for Parks and Recreation and incumbent. Over the past few years, I have worked tirelessly to provide the citizens of Rimini with great public works projects and facilities. And if I am to be elected, my goal is to continue to do this while also creating a cleaner Rimini for our citizens. Thank you.
I would also like to thank Ms. Ingram and NBC Channel 6 for inviting me to join them today, as well as the viewers. My goal is not only to allow our community to gain more money, but also to allow more fun times and beautiful.
Welcome back. Today we have our candidates for Directors of Parks and Recreation. We have our incumbent, Ryan Barrick, who's our independent, and our Democratic candidate, Cameron Oglesby, and our Republican candidate, Heather McDonald. Mr. Barrick, would you like to begin your opening remarks?
Yes. First, I would like to thank NBC6 South Florida for hosting this event and broadcasting it, Madison Ingram for being the moderator today, and I would also like to thank all of the viewers tuning in to watch this debate today. As she said, I'm Ryan Barrick, the independent candidate for Parks and Recreation and incumbent. Over the past few years, I have worked tirelessly to provide the citizens of Rimini with great public works projects and facilities. And if I am to be elected, my goal is to continue to do this while also creating a cleaner Rimini for our citizens. Thank you.
I would also like to thank Ms. Ingram and NBC Channel 6 for inviting me to join them today, as well as the viewers. My goal is not only to allow our community to gain more money, but also to allow more fun times and beautiful.
Because I know that Rimini is a great city, but there's also room for improvement, and I want to work to create more community centers, decrease pollution, and create a great environment for all of the tourists and everyone living in Rimini.
Okay, and with that, let's begin with you, Mr. Barrick. Rimini has seen an increase in different ethnic groups making their home here. How would you ensure these different cultures are represented in community festivals?
The type of festivals that I would like to have are music and food festivals, because those really represent the cultures. And for the music festivals, I would like to have local band participation, celebrating their culture, and being able to sort of advertise their band so more people can see them. So that would be a way to benefit them as well as Rimini to show off all the different cultures. As for the food festivals, I would like to get local restaurant owners to show off their cooking expertise and their culture, and that would be a way to also advertise their restaurants as well.
Okay. Considering that there is immigration and we're in Florida, it seems that most of the cultural diversity comes from Hispanic groups. So it would be nice if we could actually go to the people and get their opinions on what we should do, what food we should have, what music we should listen to, and create festivals based off of what they want and what the tourists might like.
I would like to create opportunities and plan events for different ethnic groups to have festivals to share their culture with others at our beaches, parks, and community centers. I think that this would provide opportunities for multiple groups to sign up for their own festivals and have multicultural festivals.
I just wanted to clarify that when I brought up Hispanics, I did not necessarily mean that all the festivals would involve Hispanic culture. Of course, there are other cultures that we need to focus on, and we would have festivals based off of all of that. I do agree with what Mr. Berg said. I just wanted to elaborate on that.
I think that we should have festivals to create, that would create an environment for all cultures, and I think that having food and music festivals would be beneficial.
Okay, and the second question goes to you, Ms. Oglesby. How would you address the increase in pollution?
Pollution is a big deal everywhere, I believe, in modern America. And I feel the best way to address it is to inform the people as well as get people to
Address this problem by putting more trash and recycling bins in our parks and facilities, and I also think that it's important to educate the young about the harmfulness of pollution in schools and community centers, and just promote recycling at festivals.
I believe it's really a community effort. All we can really do is encourage the public to take part. So encourage use of public transportation, carpooling, encourage walking, biking, and to do that we could maintain bike lanes, sidewalks, and things like that, and also better clean up during construction projects. Don't allow construction projects to take too long.
And I just wanted to say that recycling may be an important part of environmental awareness, but it's not necessarily helping the pollution. I just want to point out that we need to work together to help pick up litter and inform everyone that the world doesn't want trash living on it.
I agree that decreasing the littering in our parks and facilities is important, but I also think that recycling is also equally as important.
Recycling and littering are definitely very important problems here in Amimi, and I agree with Ms. McDonald in increasing the amount of waste containers. I also think to do that we should increase surveillance in the parks, like surveillance cameras and things like that, and steeper fines for littering.
And charity events.
What I would like to do is first decrease graffiti and littering, because a cleaner Amimi will bring more people. I would also like to advertise Amimi through our professional sports team. We have a professional football team, and I would like to attempt to bring the Super Bowl here to Amimi, which would bring in a large amount of money and tourists to Amimi during the off season, and as well as expanding all of our other festivals.
I have to agree with Mr. Barrick about bringing the sports and cleaning up Amimi. That will definitely bring more tourism. The big thing with me is I feel that bringing tourism to the off season is going to be quite difficult, considering it's not the best vacation time. That's why it's called the off season. I feel in order to bring people over, we have to show them what we can do when it's vacation time, summertime, when would be most convenient for them to come over, and that might attract more people to come when they are not busy in the off season.
I agree with Ms. Oglesby that that the off season is a tougher time to have more tourists come, but I also think that it's not impossible, and it's very important to increase our sales and activities like the Super Bowl in our city.
I do not believe off season, on season, whatever time of the year, I think we should be able to get a good amount of tourists throughout the year. Here in Amimi, everyone knows we have great weather here.
To come over. I also believe that the best way to bring in tourists is with the festivals and showing them the cultural diversity within Amimi.
And back to you, Mr. Barrick. It has been suggested in order to keep minors off the streets, there should be more sports leagues. How would you propose to fund these activities?
In order to fund these activities, I would run these through our youth community centers and sports complexes we already have here in Amimi. I would hope to have volunteer coaches and referees and officials. This would lower costs, as well as ensure that the people that are coaching, refereeing, are doing it for the love of the game, not just for money. I would have sign-up costs that would cover most of the cost of equipment.
I have to agree with Mr. Barrick about the coaches bringing in people that actually want to do it instead of for money. The only problem is I feel that as of now, the budget, the Parks and Recreation budget of Amimi is rather low. And I feel like in order to have these activities, we're going to have to create recreational centers and things. And in order to gain the money needed to sponsor these things, I feel that we're going to need to have fundraisers.
I think that part of our budget should go towards creating more community centers and having activities like the sports leagues within them. And I also think that we should have have some fundraisers.
I do not feel that we would need to have fundraisers. I would hope to make this self-sufficient sports league by have self-sufficient sports leagues by like I said, the sign-up costs and fees would cover mostly everything. This wouldn't be too expensive, but collectively it would bring in a large amount of money.
I feel that we would need fundraisers because it also depends on how many people would be interested in actually participating in these sports. Like, we could collect as much money from certain people as we want, but if we don't have enough people, then it's not going to make that much of a difference. And I feel like fundraisers allow us to both have extra money in the bank for us, as well as sponsor things like sports for children.
I think that fundraisers would be very important, and I think that sign-up costs and fees might turn off some of the people who aren't able to pay a lot of money.
What are some of your ideas for addressing the budget shortfall?
Like I previously said, fundraisers seem like the best option. I would like to avoid tax increases.
This time around, there needs to be more of a focus on the budget that our group is given, and I think it would be beneficial to plan out and split up the budget and use that money for the specific things that we allot that money for, so there's no overspending. And I think key things need to be chosen that should be focused on, such as decreasing pollution and bettering the city as a whole.
I think we need to cut back on non-essential spending, as well as encourage community funding through the Amimi Parks Foundation. People can
That it is crucial that we raise the cost of But I feel like fundraisers would be the best idea because fundraisers can be kind of like festivals. People can enjoy themselves as well as it attracts tourism. So people would want to pay to join us. We could get money.
I think that we're not going to be able to raise the money we need to. So I think that we should also use part of our budget.
I believe having fundraisers would cost a lot of money, which would mean that we wouldn't get as much money from them. So just by encouraging donations.
Okay. Since Amimi's beaches are the largest attraction to tourists, how will you address the increase in littering and graffiti?
I think that we should have signs up around the beach area, and we should also put recycling and trash bins along the beach. And as far as the graffiti goes, I think that we should put signs up banning inappropriate graffiti, but we should also encourage students and adults to create appropriate murals in the city in proper places during specific times, such as festivals.
I think to address littering and graffiti, we need steeper fines.
That we should take the same approach as if we're focusing on all the other litter. We just try to inform the people.
I could take away from the experience of the beach and the parks.
I don't think the surveillance cameras would take away from any of the experience. They wouldn't be large cameras, they would just be in specific areas. And I think that this is just a problem that can be solved without putting in a lot of signs. And
Just because you put up signs doesn't mean people are going to listen. As for the security cameras, that might discourage people to stop what they're doing, but it might not. So just wasting money on something that might not work doesn't seem like a good plan.
Okay, these debates. Mrs. O'Donnell, would you like to begin your closing remarks?
Yes, I would like to thank our debate moderator, Madison Ingram, NBC6 for airing the debate, and the viewers for watching. Vote for me, Heather McDonald, if you want a great park system, more community centers, keep kids safe, and an even better and cleaner city to live in.
I also would like to thank Madison Ingram for being the moderator today, and NBC6 South Florida for broadcasting this event. And I would also like to thank our viewers for taking the initiative to be informed citizens. I just would like you guys to remember to vote for me on election day, and I will try my best to provide a great city.
I just wanted to let the viewers know that I'm not just running for this to increase my position within the community. I'm doing this because I want to help the environment and I want to help the people have a good time, enjoy the scenery, enjoy life here in the community, and I'm hoping that they will vote for me.
Thank you so much for coming out here and debating and informing your viewers. And next time when we return, we will have our candidates running for district attorneys.